Okay, so let's get into it. Generational curses. What are they, and how does it work through the bloodline? All right. So generational curses are typically handed down through the bloodline until someone comes about and filters them, like they process them basically. So for example, some generational curses, well, I'm going to show the ones that I personally had to process and heal through. And so here we go. We have alcohol addiction, we have eating disorder, drug addiction, mental abuse, physical abuse, sexual abuse, poverty, depression, anxiety, diabetes. Over here we have morbid obesity, cholesterol, high blood pressure, single parent with no support from the other parent. My father died at 7, and child abuse. So with these, try to get a better view. With these generational curses, what happens is we numb and avoid processing these emotions. These emotions literally come to surface to be felt. However, when we numb and avoid, we can either drink, overeat, all sexual activity, obsessive sexual activities, excessive sexual activities, many things that you can do to avoid processing an emotion. And it's mainly because we are taught to, like, if it doesn't feel good, let's not feel it. However, the way an emotion works is it just comes to the surface to be felt, acknowledged, and released. And I had to realize that this past year. I basically, when you go through a healing journey, that's basically what that is. So on your healing journey, these emotions will come up to be processed. And for the generational curse breakers out there, hey, that's me. I'm one. You will have a plethora of them. You will have many curses to break. And this is just a list of, the ones that I had to break in this lifetime. However, this is what I signed up to do. This is what I came here to do. And I didn't realize it until I had started doing it. Before I started processing these emotions, I was like in the state of mind of, or the mindset of, why is all this happening to our family? Why is this happening to me? Why me, God? Why me, right? I was in that state of mind until I got into it, because I had no choice but to get into it, because, that was one other one. Suicide. So suicide will be the last one that I put on here. And so that is why I got into it. I was suicidal. Flirted with suicide for many, many years. And when, through my attempts, is when I met God. And God did let me know that if I take myself out of here, I will have to do this all over again. So that is how I began my healing journey. And so basically, when I realized that I couldn't live with all of that, I couldn't live with all of this. I couldn't. My heart could not take it. When I would bounce from one, I would go to the other one, try this one, do that one, can't get rid of this one, suffer in that one, and a lot of these things were private. I mean, it wasn't out there on front stage, it's behind the doors, and I couldn't. So it broke me down to my knees through suicide attempt, and I came into the light of God. And at that point, I realized that these must be processed. These are not meant to be lived with forever. These are not meant to be bounced with back and forth. When you can't hold this one anymore, go to that one. That one's still tagging along on the back of your coattail. Like this is what me and God worked through. So through the healing journey, it was, hey, of course, any healing journey that's going to be uncomfortable, but it's not undoable. I mean, it's doable is what I'm saying. You can get through it for sure. The thing is, I feel some may avoid the healing journey because they feel like there's no way out. They don't even look at the healing journey like that's a possibility. And I didn't either. I didn't think of a healing journey. I didn't think these things were to be healed. Because I never really saw too many people get off of this stuff or get through it. I just saw people carrying this on. And as I got closer to the point of healing with God, I realized that for generations on generations, all of these were carried on, passed on to the point of where they came to me. And that was the point of my incarnation, is to process these generational curses out of the bloodline. So continuous bloodlines will no longer have to process to deal with these. These are not going to be carried on in the bloodline anymore. It stops with me. It stops here. That was the purpose. And I just wanted to make this short and simple about generational curses and what are they and why are they here, why are they following us, and the healing journey. So I will most likely make another part of the healing journey, what that looks like. But like I was saying, the main part of that is processing those emotions. And processing emotions can look like a few things. When the emotion comes up to be felt, you can actually sense through your intuition, through your body, what is this emotion? For example, alcohol addiction. So when I was processing an alcohol addiction, I would feel like an urge, like out of the blue, it doesn't matter what time of day, to go get some liquor. And then what I realized was a few hours later or whatnot, the emotion would come up. So my body was prepping me to avoid that emotion before it even came up, or a scenario that could lead to that emotion. So that same, whatever that emotion may be for you and your bloodline, you're gonna feel it. I also just wanted to add that when you are processing an emotion, it will come up through your intuition, through your body, very detailed. I mean, it's unmistakable. If you sit and listen, you can know where this originated, how it started, like what exactly the scenario was, like a full view movie scenario type deal. So it's like unmistakable, and you're gonna know, like, this didn't start with me, honey. That wasn't my scenario at all. But you will know intuitively that this is my bloodline. This was in my generations before me. Like, this is tied to me. I'm just one of the offsprings here. So you will know like a full detailed scenario of what went down, how it went down. You may even like cry. Like, most times you will cry. Like, it's not even an option. Okay, that's releasing the energy. So yeah, it gets really detailed. It's unmistakable. Like, you will know for sure. Like, this is not just the average fly-by emotion that's flying by. These are generational curses that are coming up to be brought to the surface to be felt. So just wanted to put that in there. And just know, when you feel that emotion, don't run to the cheesecake, don't run to the bottle, don't run to, a bottle of liquor or whatever your vice may be, because that emotion is there to process, to be felt and released. Like, okay, I see you, I acknowledge that. It feels horrible, it feels like the worst thing ever, but I feel you, I see you, just like, and let them pass and pray over it. And let God wash that out of your bloodline. Let him purify you as it has been felt and you did not avoid it. So that is processing emotions on the shorthand. And this was the shorthand of what processing emotions are, and as well as what the generational curses look like. And I just wanted to add, make sure you get adequate rest when you're processing these emotions. You're going to feel completely drained because your DNA is upgrading on a cellular level. Like, your whole body is doing a 360. That is how these curses are not going to be transmitted through your bloodline anymore. Your DNA is literally upgrading. What scientists call junk DNA is where your spiritual inheritance is housed. Your the curses, the blessings, all of that. So of course they wouldn't know. They just call it junk DNA. It's in their world, is not active. Just like the spirit, they can't see the spirit. So, they can't see it. And on the anatomy chart, on the x-ray or whatnot. So it's the same scenario. So you're gonna make sure you get eating balanced, if possible, plenty of water. Hey, get out there in nature. Nature is gonna definitely help you process these. Get out there in nature, get your water in, get your rest, because your DNA will be upgrading. I love you.
Of the city, bitch, that's why you mad.